Hi guys, it's Nikki again from Boulder Valley Stitchy. It feels very weird to say that, by the way. I've said that multiple times at this point, and it still doesn't get any less weird to say. It feels so official. It's very strange. Anyway, hi, how's everybody doing? This is my second video, so hopefully it'll go a little bit smoother than the last one. Um, Maybe I won't have to restart it about 50 times. It's a little bit more comfortable, and I got such a wonderful response to all the people who left me wonderful comments and subscribed and hit the like button that I was like, okay, well, maybe I can do this. Maybe this isn't quite so scary. I can totally do this. Maybe. We'll see. And then I thought, man, what am I going to talk about? Then as I was trying to figure out how often to do a video, I said, well, okay, maybe I'll do it every 2 weeks. Well, then maybe I'll do it every 3 weeks. I'll do it once a month. Yeah, I'll do it once a month. And then I got a head cold and that didn't happen. So at this point, I'm still trying to decide how often to do these videos, but I noticed that over the course of the weeks since I did my last one, I kept going, ooh, I should talk about that. Ooh, I want to show that. Ooh, and now if you could see the piles of stuff around me right now, you would probably go, oh man, okay, let's get some popcorn and settle in because this might take a while. Um, hopefully it won't, but we'll see. And guys, please excuse the fact that I keep clearing my throat because I had a head cold last week and I'm still trying to get over it. But I have my lovely tea, which here, let me turn my mug around in my Ray Dunn Create mug, which my mom found this mug for me, and I think this is my favorite mug. I really do. Every time my husband takes this out of the cabinet, I get angry. So he needs to just stop. He needs. I have two. I have two mugs. One says Create, and the other one says Patience. And I think they both pretty much sum me up well. Patience is for, when I'm doing my day job, and this is when I do everything else. So I have my tea, and I'm ready to show you almost all of the stuff I've been working on over the last several weeks. Some of it I've been working on, or I had worked on last year, but I just want to kind of show you the finishes. So let's start with stitching, and I've got some quilting stuff to show at the end, but let's start with stitching. So let's start with finishes. Let's start with some finishes here. So I did these last year, but I wanted to show them because it's Christmas time. Yeah, Merry Christmas! I love Christmas. I do. It's really a toss up for me between Halloween and Christmas of which one I like better, but I do love Christmas, and I love putting up the tree, which is over there. I have a great big tree at my office. When I actually go to my office in Boulder, there's a great big tree in the atrium, and it's literally a 3-story tall tree, and it's gorgeous. It's got all of the blue and silver, and it's amazing, especially at night. At night, when you look at it through the window, it's breathtaking. But I love looking at lights. I love looking at Christmas trees. So I do love Christmas. But I made these. I wanted to show you. These were the ones that I did last year, and they were Lizzie Kate. They were Lizzie Kate ornaments. This one, and these were all part of the same tiny tidings. I can't remember what number it is, but I'll find it and I'll put it in the description below. But I know it was a tiny tidings. It was by Lizzie Kate, and this was I loved it. I loved the Rudolph. I absolutely loved the Rudolph. And then one of my other ones that I love is this one. This was my other favorite because I love baking. I love Christmas baking. It's one of my favorite things to do. So to find a little one with a cookie was just one of my favorites. But these go on my tree. So these were some ornaments that I did last year that are now on my tree. I took them off my tree to show you guys. But I love the way that the finishing turned out. I watched Vanna from Twisted Stitcher do a tutorial on how to do the ornament mounting, how to do a flat. No, this isn't a flat fold. This is a mounted ornament, and it was just I can do that. Yeah, I could do that. Now I'm and then I started, you know, making a bunch of them. So I love her videos. Her videos make me not so afraid of finishing. Because finishing was always one of those things that it just scared me. I just didn't know what to do. It was just, okay, I have this finished piece. Now what? After watching her videos, between her and the stuff that I've seen on the Real Housewives, Cross Stitch, Priscilla and Chelsea, like some of the stuff Priscilla does on her blog and on her YouTube channel, the Instagram posts that she does, Fat Quarter Show, all of the wonderful finishes that I have seen on Instagram and YouTube, it's just like, okay, I can do some of this. And then I really started doing more of it, and now I'm not so scared of it. Now I actually kind of like finishing now. No, it's weird. But I wanted to show you a couple other ones that I have. Like I said, I've got stuff piled up everywhere here, guys. One of the ones that I took off the wall, because like I said, you know, sometimes Christmas stays up year round. Sort of. This one, and it fell off. I need to glue it back together, but it's not this. This is the finish that I did for, let me see if I can do a little straighter there. This is the Christmas alphabet one from Lizzie Kate. I think it was Mary String. And I put it on. I got this board at Michael's and I painted it black, and just a matte black. And then I mounted that up, and there's magnets. There is actually magnets on the back of this, so I can flip it in and out. I can just change the greenery and flip it out and use it throughout the rest of the year. But the glue came apart. I got to reglue that. That's something to work on later. This next one, I love this one. This one's my favorite. I need to take a drink. Like I said, it's because I don't want to start coughing in the middle of the video. I found this. I'll show it to you in just a second. So I loved the pattern, and it's from an Etsy designer. And for some reason, I've lost the name of the designer in my head. But I found the pattern on Etsy. I absolutely loved it. Bought it, downloaded it, stitched it up. And then it was, where do I display it? What do I do with it? And then I'm walking through the grocery store of all places, literally the grocery store. And you know how they always have the seasonal stuff in the center, you know, Halloween, Easter thing, and they had all their Christmas stuff out. And I found this board in the grocery store. So yeah, this had to come home with me. It's just clipped. Oh, I mean, you can see it. It moves. But I loved the saying, you know, I just want to watch movies or Christmas movies and bake cookies and stitch all day. This pretty much sums up my entire Christmas vacation that I'm going to be doing here in a couple weeks. This pretty much sums it up. But yeah, I didn't have to do anything. I mounted it, and then all I did was I just clipped it, and then it hangs up in the kitchen. It's perfect. So yeah, I couldn't believe I found that at the grocery store. So my advice, walk through that section of the grocery store. You might find something there that you didn't expect. I didn't expect it, but I love that piece, and it hangs up in my kitchen. And this next one, so this one actually, this is something that I reuse, and it was, you know, one of the things I love about Priscilla's finishing is that she uses the same pieces to display, the same display pieces over and over. She just switches out the stitching on the display pieces. I love that. And it was something that the first time I saw it, it was like, it just this, you know, moment, because it was, why didn't I think of that? Because I'm not that smart. But it's perfect. So I had this one was hanging up in my, well, it's now replaced with the other ones in my kitchen, but I got this board again at Michael's, and this one holds, you know, obviously my red, white, and bloom for summer, you know, the 4th of July season, everything. But because it has, I put magnets on it. I put magnets and metal, like, you know, Priscilla suggested. I stitched this one up, and I absolutely adore the way that this one came out. This was on a tea-dyed 28 count. Is this an even weave? I think that, yeah, this was a Monaco. I actually did this one on Monaco. This was a 28 count tea-dyed Monaco that I did, and it says Country Cottage Needleworks, and I just love the colors. These are the type of colors that I really like. The reds, the greens, the almost darker colors of Christmas is my favorite. But when I stitch this up, now I can take my board and pull that off, and hold on, it's not mounted fully yet, but I turned it sideways. I won't get this on here right, guys, trust me. I mounted it, I turned it sideways, and what I'll do is I will take this off, pull this over, and center it up on this board, and then maybe put some greenery up at the top, but it may not need it. Who knows? But I can reuse this board to display this piece for the Christmas season. And all I did was I turned it from this way to this way. And the back of it has the mounts to go either direction. I mean, you can do it as a hanging, or you can do it this way. So it's awesome, and I love the fact that I can use the same board over and over with just different pieces. But I do love the way the colors turned out on those. So that was some of the Christmas stitching that I did last year that I just wanted to show you guys, because they're hanging up in my house, or well, they will be as soon as I get that one remounted. They hang up in my house, and I have, with my tree and my pillows and all the other stuff around here. So my Christmas decorating. So those were some finishes that I had. Let's talk about WIPS. Okay, guys, I'll be honest. If I showed you every WIP that I have in my basket, we'd be here 2 hours. I'm not going to do that to you. So I decided I'm going to just show a few at a time, and just some of the stuff that I've kind of been working on. The biggest WIP that I've been working on over the last few weeks, I can't show you. I'm sorry, I can't show it to you yet. It's for Just Cross Stitch magazine that comes out next year, so it's going to be a while, but that's the one that I've been working on the most, and it'll be published next year. So I don't have a huge amount of WIPs or progress on my whole on my WIPs, because I've been working on that one for a few weeks now. So anyway, but I did want to show you some of the WIPs, the other WIPs that I've been working on that I've been neglecting, because I've been working on this piece for Just Cross Stitch magazine. I have this one, is Christmas Rules by Lizzie Kate, and I'm only about halfway done. I know. Getting this done before Christmas, yeah, that may not happen. We're going to try, but it may not happen. It's kind of hard to see. It's probably going to be really hard to see on the camera, but the material, this is a 28 count even weave that I dyed it's a mint green color. It's not a I mean, it's kind of a Christmas green, but it's mint green. And it's hard to see on the camera. The lighting in here probably isn't right for it, but I do love the way this material turned out, this dye turned out. But and this was something I dyed myself, because, like I said, if I can't find the exact color I'm looking for, yeah, I pull out the container of RIT dye and get to work. My mom has a hard time finding Ada in some of the colors outside of neutrals. Some of the brighter greens and pinks and stuff. She has a hard time finding Ada. So when she was here in October, when we were going to go to the retreat, there was the witch that I showed you last time. It's in that Kermit green. There was no Kermit green Ada. So the night before we were going up to the retreat, I pulled out the RIT die and we dyed some 18 count Ada, and we had it looked like it kind of looked like a chemistry lab in my kitchen for a little while there, because we just had all these different dye concoctions, and it was okay. Is that one about right? No, and we got it. We actually we found one that was almost identical to the Kermit that was in the linen. So like I said, I love dyeing fabric. I wish I had more time. My problem is that if I dye too much fabric, I will I get overrun. I get overrun with fabric, and then I'll end up changing my mind. So I if I'm gonna dye fabric, I tend to either do a little bit at a time, or if it's tea dye, I do a bunch. If it's tea dye, yeah, I just dye a bunch of fabric and then use it over the next several months. But if it's a specific color, I tend to do it for whatever piece that I'm working on. So yeah, this ended up being like a real pretty mint green. So that's my Christmas rolls that I am working on slowly. I will move that over here. The other one that I've been working on that I'm incredibly behind on, by the way, because she's already put out all the pieces. It was a stitch along, and it's the Pride and Prejudice stitch along by Sapphire Mountain. And here's the in my sock monkey project bag. This was the she had it in her Etsy shop. Pride and Prejudice. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I love it. I'm behind. I'm extremely behind because I've been working on all of this other stuff that I haven't gotten real far. I haven't gotten real far, but this is what I plan to work on a lot during my upcoming Christmas vacation. That's right. I will be on vacation probably after the 18th of December till the 2nd of January. I'm about 3 weeks, and that's where I'm going for, and we'll see if I actually get out of the office on the 18th. It's still kind of up in the air of whether I'll actually be able to take leave that soon, or if I'm going to be too close to some other deadlines. I've got some deadlines that I've got to work on for my day job, and but my plan is to be on vacation after the 18th of December and go back on the 2nd of January and get all kinds of stitching and quilting done. That's my plan, because I have no plans to go on any trips or anything right now. So it's a staycation, and I will be able to bake cookies and pies and enjoy my Christmas tree and go Christmas shopping during the day, and work on stitching and watch Christmas movies. So that's my plan. Man, me and the Grinch, man, we're like this. Anyway, so hang on. But that's I want to work on this one because it's just gorgeous. And Pride and Prejudice is one of my absolute favorite books. Believe it or not, I went into college as an English Lit major. Right? Anyway, and so to have a project that is based on one of my favorite novels, my favorite English Lit novels, and stitching we're ticking all the boxes here for me. We've got stitching, we've got book club, we've got reading, we've got English Lit. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better project for me. So this is one that I really do want to work on because we're clicking all the boxes. This one I'm so close to being done with. This one is Vintage Christmas. Vintage Christmas by Heart and Hand. And it's still in the hoop. I'll warn you. I use hoops. I use hoops a lot. I've tried using Q-snaps, but it just, holding them just kind of hurts my hands, so I like hoops better, but that's just my preference. My mom loves Q snaps, so this is my version of the vintage Christmas here. I wanted this to be a night scene. I loved the pattern on the cream, the tea dye, but there's a lot of white. There's a lot of white on this pattern, and I really struggle sometimes with white showing up on the lighter fabrics. I mean, tea dye is pretty good, but anything lighter than that, white has a tendency to just blend and it doesn't stand out. And I really wanted it to stand out because there was so much white in this piece. So I decided I wanted to make my Christmas scene a night scene because I love Christmas nights. I love going and looking at the lights and seeing how everything kind of reflects off of the snow. And right now we're buried in snow, by the way. Colorado has gotten just pummeled the last few weeks in snowstorms. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who we made mad in the cosmos to dump this much snow in November in Colorado. 2 days before Thanksgiving, we got 14 inches of snow at my house. I mean, it was insane. That's January snow, not November snow. That's January. But it happened in November. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. So for it to be this cold and this snowy in the beginning of December is almost unheard of here. I mean, yeah, we get some snow. It gets colder, but we don't get 14 inches of snow 2 days before Thanksgiving. Yeah, that doesn't happen. Or and even before Halloween, day before Halloween, we had probably another 8 inches of snow. Like I said, I don't know who we made mad in the cosmos, but it's okay. You can calm down. We apologize. Please stop dumping the snow. Except for on Christmas Day. You can go ahead and dump the snow on Christmas Day. That's fine. I like snow on Christmas Day. Outside of that, no. Anyway, back to the stitching. I really wanted to make this a night scene. So I did a kind of a navy blue, or it's not really navy blue. It's a little lighter. It's a blue linen, and the white just really shows up on this. And I don't have much left. I have some, the rest of the trees and the star up here, and then it's done. Yay, it's done. And then I can finish it and put it up on one of the displays that I have. So this is my goal for maybe this weekend. This is my goal for this weekend, is to finish this one. I have a lot of stitching goals every weekend, but I have some time and okay, because I also got to go Christmas shopping this weekend, which it's going to impact my stitching time. It's going to take away from valuable stitching time the fact that I have to go Christmas shopping. Why do I have to go Christmas shopping? I don't know, because my husband's family requires Christmas presents. I don't know, but it's Amazon and me, we're best friends. But so those are the ones that I'm currently working on. I did have a couple. I wanted to show you one that I finished recently, which was this Prairie Schooler. I have a Prairie Schooler, but I want to say something first. So first off, this is the pattern that I used. It's Kringle Prairie Schooler. Guys, I do, and I do make photocopies of my patterns. The reason why is because I highlight, I mark them, and I don't want to mark my original pattern. I never post anything. I never, release them on the internet. I don't share them, things like that. But I do make copies for myself, and then I destroy them at the end, because if I need the paper to highlight and mark off where I'm at, because if I don't, I will mess up. And I know there's a lot of designers out there that just they really don't want you to make any copies of their patterns, but just know I'm not sharing them with anybody. They're just for me and me only. So I do have this pattern downstairs. It's just this was what was in my project bag, because this is the one that I highlight. But this was one of the Santas that I finished. And I just loved him because he was so Nordic looking. I just loved him. I loved the reds and the birds and everything. And So this one is stitched, again, this is a 28 count even weave, and this was one that I tea-dyed. But because this pattern, so here's the thing, you know, there's 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 8 different Santas in this pattern. I wanted to make them all the same, or on the same fabric. I may not do the same finish as what's in the pattern, but I did want them all to be on the same type of fabric. So what I did was I got a big piece of my 28 count even weave, and this is what I'm talking about, where I do a big dye lot and I'll dye a bunch of fabric all at one time. So I did that for this, and then I cut up the pieces. I cut up 8 pieces that I needed, the 8 that I needed, all the same, so that I know that I have the same dye lot and the same fabric and everything for all 8 of these Santas. One day I will actually get all 8 of these Santas stitched. Is that day going to be anytime soon? Yeah, probably not. But I have one. I'm 1 down, 7 to go. So, but I have all the fabric done for it, and it all matches. And that was what I really wanted. I just wanted the fabric to match. So that is one that I recently finished. I also have some other ones that I finished over the last few weeks, kind of. One, and I need to finish that. I need to do some finishing. I'll show you that pile in a second. So this one is Hands-On Designs year of celebrations. This is the December one. There's one for each month, and I finished the December one. Now I need to go downstairs and do the mounting so that I can display it, since it is, you know, the 6th of December, and I'm not done. So that's also kind of my plan for this weekend. We'll see if that happens. Again, Christmas shopping takes up too much time. One of the other ones that I did is I did, and this is going to be kind of, the size of the fabric's a little strange, but this one, Happy Christmas, and this one is a shepherd's bush, part of the Christmas Trifles, Christmas Trifles, and there's 3 patterns, or 3 pieces in the booklet, and this was my favorite because I loved the red in Happy Christmas. I just loved that color because I love that color red. It's kind of a cranberry color, and that's one of my favorite red colors is cranberry. I use it a lot. I like the cranberry red. So that was another one that I need to finish and get displayed somewhere because, hey, Christmas. Yeah, I've got a lot of these. This one is my Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and this was a stitch along actually earlier this year, maybe last year. Earlier this year that it may have started last year, but I finished it this year. This was a Lizzie Kate Santa Claus Coming to Town that I did on a blue 28 count even weave. Yeah, this is a linen. This is 28 count linen that I worked them on. It's kind of a cornflower blue. I think, yeah, that's the name of it, cornflower blue. And I loved the way the red popped out, but again, if you look, the white is kind of hard to see. So that's why I tend to shy away from light fabric when there's a lot of white. If there's something that can kind of draw the white out, it's okay, but I use darkers. I tend to use darker fabric. This was actually one of my favorite ones. This was from Just Cross Stitch magazine, an old issue. I can't remember the exact issue. I think it was the 2000 issue. The ornament issue, the annual issues that they do for all the Christmas ornaments. I believe this was issue 2000, but I'll double check and I'll put it in the description box. This is Prairie Schooler and it was a Santa on a rooftop. Yeah, this wasn't just Cross Stitch Magazine. It was awesome, and it was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be, a small ornament size. This thing's huge. So I need to get this one finished up, or finished and displayed. This one is another piece of 28 count even weave that I dyed myself in a dark. It's again, it's going to be hard to see with the lighting in here, but it's a really dark hunter green color, and it's got a little bit of the modeling on it too. So I love the way this turned out on the green. So I need to get that one finished and displayed. And the last one I'm going to show you for finishes. Like I said, I'm not going to show you all of my WIPs because we'd be here 2 hours. This is one that it's a winter one. It's not really Christmas, it's more winter. So I've got a little bit of time, December pretty much, to get this one finished. But I think I'm going to finish this one to switch out on the board that I just showed you with the Mary string on it. I'm going to use that same board, and I'm going to put this on it if it'll fit. I think it'll fit. If not, I have a longer one downstairs. But this is called Cold Hands Snow. I think it's Cold Hands Snow Love. I think it's called Snow Love by Lizzie Kate. There were three separate patterns, and I stitched them all together to make the snow scene. And it's Cold Hands, Warm Hearts, Snow Love, and it's kind of long, but I did this is called Twilight, and it's a 28 count linen called Twilight. It's one of my favorite colors of linen to work on because it's kind of a steel gray color. It's kind of, like I said, it's hard to see with the camera, but it's the white just popped on this fabric. It's a like a gunmetal gray color. And I just loved the way the white turned out. So I need to get this one finished, and I've got a little bit more time because it's more winter instead of Christmas. So, but I do need to get it done and displayed. So that's a lot of the stitching that I've done recently and have been working on. Like I said, the biggest stitching piece that I've been working on lately, I can't show you right now. I have a lot to finish. Okay, confession time. I have a tendency to stitch and forget. I actually saw somebody when I went to StitchCon over the summer. There was a pile, and it was called the Stitch and Forget pile, and I loved it. I loved that name for this, the Stitch and Forget pile, because who doesn't have that? Well, Priscilla probably doesn't have that pile, but I have this pile. And a lot of it is older stuff that I did before I got, comfortable with finishing, that I would stitch it and then sit over to the side and go, oh, I'll figure out something to do with that later. And then I never did. And it just piled up. It's so piled up. So I loved the phrase that she used, which was the Stitch and Forget pile, because I think any stitcher out there who loves this hobby as much as I do, most likely has a Stitch and Forget pile. I'm going to show you mine, and please don't judge. So this is my Stitch and Forget pile. Oh my God, I cannot believe I'm sharing this with you guys. Seriously. This is all of the stuff that I have finished stitching but haven't done any finishing on. And there's some good stuff in here. I need to get to it. And it's funny because there's stuff in here that's spring, so I always think, oh, I'll work on that when I get closer to spring. And then spring comes around and I don't have it done. And it's, well, now I'm close to 4th of July, so I'll work on the 4th of July stuff. And then that doesn't happen. And then there's fall and Christmas, and yeah. And guys, I really need to get to this pile. I think I have a problem. I think I need an intervention on my stitch and forget pile. This, there's a lot of stuff in here. I won't show you everything in this pile because, like the WIPS, we'd be here 2 hours if I showed you everything in this pile. It's truly. I don't think anybody wants to see this. I don't think anybody actually wants me to sit here and go through my stitch and forget pile. So one day this will be done. I'm not sure when that day will be, but it, might happen. So, but I am interested. I'm curious. Does anybody else have a stitch and forget pile, or is it just me? Is it just me being lazy, or are there other people out there who have a similar pile and don't, just it's one of those things that, I sit down to start doing finishing, and I'm finishing the stuff that I've worked on right then, and I don't think about the stuff that's sitting in the drawer behind me. And then I've finished 5 pieces, and I'm like, I'm wiped out. And then the stuff in the pile never gets touched. That's sad. It's sad. It needs some love. My stitch and forget pile needs some love. I'll love it eventually. I just need to get to it. But we'll get there. So that is about everything I have stitching wise, cross stitch wise. As if you watched the last video, quilting is also a new obsession that I've had recently. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have noticed that I'm posting more quilting pictures lately than I have stitching pictures. And that's because I've been working on this piece that I can't show you. And it's frustrating. It's like, oh, I want to share this and I can't. So it's okay, I'll share the quilt. And guys, I am still stitching. It's just right now, all of my pictures seem to be about quilting because those are the ones that I can show you. Anyway, I was going to show you a couple of the quilt tops that I finished within the last month. So here's something that I have figured out about myself. I love piecing. I love doing the tops. I love doing the piecing. I am still trying to figure out the actual quilting part of quilting. Mostly because the machine that I have, the sewing machine that I have, is excellent for piecing. It's a good machine for piecing. It is not designed for quilting. It's just not part of the design of the machine. So trying to do quilting on this machine it's impossible. So I really don't have a good machine for quilting. My daughter's machine is better, and I'm practicing on her machine, but it's pretty good, but it's a lot of practice, and I haven't quite gotten there yet. I can do stitch in the ditch. Stitch in the ditch I can do no problem. Anything outside of that, it looks like maybe a 5-year-old did this. So I'm still trying to figure out the actual quilting part of quilting. But anything outside of stitch in the ditch, but not everything can be stitch in the ditch. But I love piecing. I absolutely love piecing quilt tops. And right now, I think I have 3 different quilt tops that need. I have 2 here in my lap, but I have 3 that need some quilting done on them, and I'm working on it. But I'll show you the quilt top. So one of them, and again, if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen these, but I'll show it to you anyway. So Fat Quarter Shop has this wonderful video series and a lot of tutorials they call shortcut quilts, and I am obsessed with these quilts. Because when they say they're shortcut quilts, they are shortcut quilts. They don't take long to piece, which is amazing, because it takes something like a triangle, half square triangle, and cuts it and repositions it, and then you have a whole different pattern. It's just, it's amazing, which is what this is. So this is the paper flowers pattern that they had posted video. It was a free video, or well, not free, sorry, all the videos are free. It's a free pattern, and then a video tutorial on how to put it together. And I put it all together, and it's quite big. It's actually really big. It's kind of hard to, get it all in the shot here. But I loved the way the colors turned out, and the best thing about this quilt is you didn't have to really match up any seams. Not really. Just a few, but very, very few. It's designed to not match. I mean, honestly, it's not supposed to have the perfect points in the squares, which for me is exactly what I need, because my points tend to be off sometimes. So that was the paper flowers quilt from Fat Quarter Shop, the tutorial and the free pattern that they have out on YouTube. I love making that. I'm actually going to probably make a second one. If I can figure out how to do the quilting the way I want to on that one, I'm most likely going to make a second one with some different colors, maybe darker colors. I actually thought about making that as a black background with brighter colors. So there's probably going to be a second one of that. This one was in their book. It was a It's Sew Emma book called Triangle Paper. It's the Triangle Paper book. And It's Sew Emma Designs is Kimberly Jolly. It's actually her company. It's part of Fat Quarter Shop. It's her design company. And I absolutely love these patterns because they're really easy to follow. And they usually have a lot of the shortcut techniques in them, and I really do like the way her patterns are written. They're easy to follow. So but it's called It's Sew Emma, and I do like her patterns. This was one of the patterns from the Triangles on a Roll book that she published, and this one is, whoops, sorry, I have it the wrong direction. Goes this way. And it was all these half square triangles with the white background. And again, this is just the quilt top. I still need to figure out how to actually do the quilting on it. We're getting there. We're getting there. But this one was surprisingly easy. So the other thing about this one that I was surprised on with it is it actually didn't take as much fabric as I thought it would. So all of the colored triangles on here, all of the different ones. I've got blue, pink, green, and an orange. All of these half square triangles were done with a fat eighth. That's it. So I had 2 blues, 2 pink, 2 orange, 2 green, so 8. There were 8 fat eighths for all of the half square triangles in this quilt, and then it was just the background, and the background I think was 1 3/4 yard. I was very surprised at how little fabric was involved with this. I thought it was going to be, looking at all this half square triangles, I thought I was looking at, a yard of fabric for every one of those different colors, and 2-3 yards of fabric for the background, or 3 yards, and it wasn't. I was actually really surprised at how little fabric it took, and I love the way it turned out. Who knew I'd like half square triangles as much as I do, but I do. I love half square triangles. I also love jelly rolls. Out of all the pre-cuts, jelly rolls are my favorite. Yeah, they are. Because they're so versatile. You can use a jelly roll cut so many different ways. It's actually it's kind of crazy. It really is kind of crazy. So I love jelly rolls. That's my favorite free cut. So, speaking of jelly rolls, my next project, again, this is probably something I'm going to be working on over my Christmas vacation. Yay! Can you tell I'm excited for Christmas vacation? My God, guys, I need a break. I want to just sit and stitch and quilt and do nothing for a little while and not think about work. That's what I want to do. That's my whole goal for the last 3 weeks of the year. I'm gonna bake cookies, I'm gonna watch Christmas videos, or maybe just videos in general, stitch, quilt, drink some cider, maybe cocoa, who knows? And that's it. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. Nothing. I want to do nothing. Well, I guess stitching and quilting isn't exactly nothing, but anyway, you know my point. So the next quilt that I'm going, this is the next one I'm starting. So remember when I said in the last video that I tend to spend my lunch hour watching YouTube videos? This is it's true. I do. I watch YouTube videos. I eat my lunch. I watch YouTube videos, and then I get all kinds of inspiration and say, "Oh, I want to do that one." But there was a recent video from it was Fat Quarter Shop, and it was Coriander Quilts, and she was going through her top 10 favorite patterns that she has. You know, her top 10 patterns that she loved the most, and this one was one that she had talked about. It's called Tulip Market, and she said it was one of her favorite patterns. And when I looked at it, when she was talking about it and she was showing it, it just struck me that I had the perfect jelly roll for this pattern already. And I loved the tulips. It was a jelly roll pattern. I loved the tulips and decided, yeah, I need that one. So I went to Fat Quarter Shop and I bought the pattern and did a download. I did the downloadable pattern. And then I went and I double checked to make sure, and I was right. I had the perfect jelly roll already because it takes one, and then some other it takes a jelly roll, background fabric, and then some four different greens for the stems of the flowers. But so this is my, here, I'll do it this way so you can see it. This is my jelly roll that I'm going to use for Tulip Market. And it's a Riley Blake called Rhapsody. Yes, I do need reading glasses. So I'm old. Okay. But it's called Rhapsody, and it's by Riley Blake, and it's going to be perfect for Tulip Market. And I cannot wait to start this one. I won't lie. This is probably going to be the most complicated pattern that I have tried to date because there are a lot of little pieces. There's a lot. There's a lot of little pieces in this quilt. So this could take a while. It's a good thing it's a spring quilt because I might get it done by spring. But this one is the next one that I want to start in over my Christmas break. So stay tuned for more on Tulip Market with Riley Blake Rhapsody Jelly Roll. We'll see how this turns out. Those are my plans. Those are my plans. I've got big plans. I've got stitching plans. I've got quilting plans. I've got sitting around doing nothing plans for my Christmas vacation. And I plan on watching Christmas Vacation, which is one of my favorite movies. I love A Christmas Story. I know a lot of people out there are, oh my God, not another rerun of a Christmas Story. Yes, I actually like this movie. It's one of my favorite movies. I don't know why. I can't explain it. It's just one of those movies that I can turn on and have playing while I'm doing Christmas stitching that just make me happy. It makes me happy. And that's for me. That's what it's all about. I just want to be happy. And my husband doesn't complain because all he wants is for me to be happy, because he really doesn't like it when I'm unhappy, as most husbands don't, because he gets the brunt end of it. But no, he puts up with a lot. Guys, seriously, my husband, he might need to qualify for sainthood soon, because he puts up with me. I'm no picnic. But I've been married for 23 years, so he's sticking around. But the fact that he can put up with me says a lot. But that's pretty much all I had to show today. Thanks for sticking around and watching the second video. You know, I'm gonna try and do these more often. I'll probably end up doing one over the Christmas holidays. Because I'll have time. So I'll probably put together another video and post it over the Christmas holidays. And until then, everybody have a wonderful stitching weekend, and go shopping. If anybody would like to give me suggestions of what to buy young adult kids, please feel free to leave comments, because my daughter's not hard. Okay. Does anybody else have this problem where everybody in my house seems to think that I am the hardest person to shop for? I'm not. I personally think I am the easiest person in this house to shop for. I am perfectly happy. Get me a gift card to Joann's or Michael's or 123 Stitch or the stitching shop down in Denver or the one up in Greeley or Fat Quarter Shop. Hell, just I'm perfectly happy. I send my family a wish list from Amazon for myself every year. Every year I send them a wish list. I never get anything on it, ever. It's Amazon. You click order and you put your credit card in. That's how I don't think I'm hard. But apparently they think that I am the hardest person to shop for. I don't understand why. Does anybody else have this problem with their family? Or is it just me? I don't know why. My daughter's pretty easy to shop for. My husband and my son I got nothing. I have absolutely no idea what to buy those guys. So if anybody has some suggestions, I'm all ears, because they're tough. They're tough. They're boys. What do I buy boys? Yeah, they're not easy to shop for. I'm easy. They're not easy. But anyway, everybody have a wonderful stitching weekend, and I will most likely post a video here in probably 2 or 3 weeks around Christmas, saying Merry Christmas to everybody, and showing you what I've accomplished on my stitchy vacation. Stitchation. Is that a word? No, it's not a word. So I'll just call it Stitchy Vacation, and I hope to see everybody then. And please, feel free. I love reading the comments. I absolutely love reading everybody's comments. And I'm so excited that everybody liked the first video. And hopefully you haven't, left, been completely bored during this one. So if anybody has any requests that you want to see, or, there was, I won't bore you with the entire Stitch and Forget pile, but if anybody wants to see more of something or less of something, please let me know. And I will talk to everybody soon. So have a great weekend. Bye.